Hi, my name is Kat and welcome to Vegan Diver Kat. Today I'm doing another episode all about scuba diving. So I have had so many questions about diving in general, and I have done all the other courses. I've talked about the open water course, the advanced course, the rescue course, and the dive master course for PADI. And today we're finally here discussing the instructor course. Before we get started, it would mean the world to me if you would join the family, subscribe down below, become part of the Ocean Lovin' Tribe. I also have a podcast which you can check out where I talk to marine experts of all things marine biology, conservation. Just recently I had an awesome guest of David Schiffman, who is the mind behind Why Sharks Matter, and we talk all about how you might be eating sharks without even realizing it. There are so many cool episodes, so go on and check it out on any streaming service. As well, if you want to help support the work I do, you can become a patron or just in general join the Facebook group and become part of the conversation about conservation. I have been a scuba diving instructor since 2012. Since then, I have taught in Australia, Cambodia, and in Comoros. I have been traveling the world as a diving instructor, I have worked in cities, and I have freelanced. So I have done a little bit of everything. It's honestly been one of the most incredible decisions of my life, and I want to share that experience with you guys. So many people want to become a diving instructor, so I'm going to kind of split this video up into certain parts. There's going to be your prerequisites and what you need to think about before you become a diving instructor, what your course actually looks like, and then just a little bit about how to pick the best place to do your course at. So to get started, prerequisites. What do you need to do before becoming a scuba diving instructor? Now again, I'm talking about PADI. There are many other diving organizations in the world which you can check out if you are curious about joining SSI or something like that. If you want me to talk about the differences of the different diving organizations, leave me a comment down below and I'll get right on that. Okay, so to become a scuba diving instructor, you need to be 18 years old. You need to have a minimum of 60 logged dives before you start the course and 100 logged dives when you go to your IE, the instructor exam. You need to have a full professional dive medical, which in Australia this is the code for, and you need to be an EFR instructor, so an emergency first response instructor. That can also be intertwined with your instructor course, and most companies will actually offer it at the same time or just before or during as your instructor course. Now, in terms of your IDC, it is split up into two parts. You've got the assistant instructor section, which covers some of the theory, which after you're going to be an assistant instructor, so you can help out on the courses. You are basically like a dive master, but you are allowed to do some of the skills unsupervised by an instructor. I would personally recommend just to do the whole instructor course altogether rather than doing it in the two parts. So you got the assistant instructor part and then the open water scuba instructor part. You can do both of these together, which is what I did. My course took about 2 weeks and I did it in Go Dive Brisbane in Australia, which honestly has some of the best diving I have ever done in the world. If you're curious about what it looks like to dive there, just check out the video about the day in the life of a scuba diving instructor. In the course itself, you're going to cover a lot of topics. Now to start off with, you are going to be doing some theory. Now if you've watched my Dive Master video, you'll know that there is theory on the physics, the physiology, biology, and kind of marine ocean systems, which you have a test on each of these parts. Now in your instructor course, you're not going to be learning any more information, but it is expected that you already know all that stuff very thoroughly. While the exams are quite similar, the content is the same, you have to get a better mark than your Dive Master course to pass the minimum threshold. Now I'm going to talk about the instructor exam in a separate video since that is a whole process to talk about. It's a 2-day exam, so we'll get into that. Stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell if you want to stay updated with that video when it comes up. So you're going to have these theory things, but now the thing that really sets aside the instructor course from the Dive Master course is you are learning how to teach. So you already have that knowledge in you from the Dive Master course, but now you're going to really learn how to apply that knowledge in a classroom setting and how to teach. So you are going to be learning how to teach the open water, advanced, rescue, and Dive Master courses. You are going to be taught how to present in a PADI way, and you're going to have many kind of tests throughout your instructor development course where you're going to be given a question from any of the books from Open Water, Advanced, Rescue, or Dive Master, and you're going to have to do a presentation on the topic. You're going to have to answer the person's question, basically simulating what if a student doesn't know or wants more explanation on a particular topic. So, apart from the theory, you are also going to be learning about the PADI standards and procedures. You actually get a whole book which you have to kind of learn how to go through the PADI manual for instructors and to find exactly how many people are allowed to be in a course, what are the ratios, what skills can an assistant instructor do, what can a dive master do, what is expected, what is the maximum depth, what is the minimum depth. All of that is going to be included in this instructor manual, and that is going to be part of your exam as well. That is an open book exam, so you can look up the answers. So the key thing is to know how to find them in the book and kind of get familiar with the content as well. The next thing that you're going to be learning about is the business of PADI. So PADI is a worldwide massive organization which teaches people how to scuba dive, and to be part of it, a big part of it is sales. So you're going to learn how to sell the courses, how to upsell courses, how to get people interested in doing their advanced, into doing their rescue, whether it is how to sell some equipment and things like that. A lot of dive shops are going to depend on you to sell more courses or products to make sure that they're getting income in. Unfortunately, due to how this world has worked, scuba diving courses don't make that much money. A lot of countries in the world offer them really at a base minimum cost because people don't want to pay that much. Even though you're going to a whole underwater world with a device on you which allows you to breathe underwater, people expect not to pay that much. So the way a lot of shops make up their revenue is by selling other courses, continuing education, as well as products. Now, while you may be like, oh, I don't really want to sell, that is something I'm not interested in, it is an important part of being an instructor, but you can also always find things that you truly believe in. I really think that everyone should do their advanced course because it makes you a better diver. It gives you an opportunity to become comfortable underwater. After your open water course, you would have done only 4 open water dives. That is nothing. If you get out there with just a buddy and you don't really know how to navigate, you're not that confident, you're still a brand new diver after 4 dives. So doing the advanced course gives you an extra 5 dives with a certified instructor, gives you additional skills, navigation, deep diving, as well as any of the other specialties you can do to become a safer and more competent diver. For that reason, I think it's a very valuable course to do. And that is something I truly believe in, and that is how I would sell it. Because I think everyone should be as safe as possible when they dive, because while diving is one of the safest sports in the world, things can go wrong if you don't have the proper education and if you don't really know what you're doing. In terms of divers not knowing really what they're doing, there is a part of the instructor course which focuses on risk management and diver safety. So you are going to learn a lot more about risk management and what to do in case of an emergency. This is also why you have to have your emergency first responder certification, but you're going to learn how to fill out incident report forms. You're going to learn what to look out for if someone is panicked or potentially going to have an issue during the dive. So that is a whole separate part where your instructors are going to tell you some horror stories of things they have witnessed. If you guys want to hear about some of the scary parts of the job, again, let me know down below and I can get into that in another video. Now, back to the teaching aspect. You are going to learn how to teach in 3 different scenarios. The first one is in a classroom. So you're going to learn how to stand up in front of a whiteboard, how to draw diagrams and make it simple for your students to understand what is going on in the theory of diving. While open water kind of has quite basic knowledge, which is very intuitive, you are going to be teaching all the way up to Dive Master, which has some complicated things. So it's really important that you know the things back to front. And yeah, you're going to learn how to best transmit that knowledge to the next generation world of divers inside a classroom. You're going to learn how to make them feel good and feel confident about the exam, how to not worry about things, what parts to look out for. You're going to learn about which parts in the presentation to stop and kind of emphasize, because there are certainly areas which more people have trouble with. Your instructors are going to take the time to share their experiences with you. Because just like the Dive Master course, the instructor course is more of a mentor program. So you're not really in that classroom setting that much where it's just teacher-student. You are working together to become the best instructor that you can be. After the theory part, you are going to learn about how to teach in the pool session. So confined water is kind of the first time your students are in the water in the pool. So there you're going to learn how to do demonstration level all the skills. Again, if you're curious to see demonstration level skills, let me know down below. There's really so much to kind of talk about that we can't get it all out in one video. So you're going to learn how to demonstrate these skills, how to brief things properly to make sure that your students know exactly what to expect. You are going to learn how to set up equipment, how to get equipment there properly, how to manage your team of dive masters, how to position your students in the pool, where to put things, what to look out for. So there is a lot of that. Again, just like with the theory aspect, you are going to be given certain skills and you're going to have to do the whole brief for them, demonstrate them, and then your instructors are going to simulate your students and kind of copy what you said to do. So if you briefed something incorrectly, they're going to do exactly what you briefed. Therefore, you're going to really get to know what mistakes you're making in terms of your presentation. So that is the pool session. As you guys know, there's 25 skills that you got to do in the pool. There's a whole heap of stuff. So you're going to learn how to do all of those basically. You get graded on how well you brief and present these skills. Again, this is also going to be in the exam. After the confined water pool session, you are going to be tested out in the open water. So you're actually going to go out to dive sites and same thing. Your instructors are going to simulate being the students, and sometimes the course director or the head instructor is going to tell the other participants, hey, pretend you have this problem, and it's going to be your job to identify what the problem is, stop the exercise, and correct your student. Right? So you might have said, alright guys, today we're going to be doing the mask clearing skill. To do that, you want to take 2 fingers and place them on the top of your mask and push down. Then you're going to want to look towards the surface and gently exhale through your nose. This is going to push the water out and empty your mask. Once you're all done, please give me the okay to make sure that you are happy and comfortable. If you are unsure about anything, just give me the something's wrong signal and we can try it again. So that would be potentially one of the skills you're tested on. There's also plenty more. So you never know what you're going to get, whether it's in the confined water or the open water in your exam. Once again, we'll talk about the exam on another time. So those are all your components of the instructor development course. As I said, mine took 2 weeks to complete. I actually did it during my university time. So I basically took 2 weeks off of university to do my instructor course. Would not necessarily recommend. But thankfully, my instructors were absolutely incredible in Go Dive, and I actually had a physics exam on one of the days of the theory aspect, and my boss was so cool that he just kind of said, all right, well, during that day we're gonna do the physics theory since you don't need it, because I was studying physics. So it worked out really well. That was probably the thing that kind of gave me the biggest victory, or the biggest positive attitude and fearlessness in terms of going out into the world and being a diving instructor. I had such an incredible team of people teaching me. Thank you once again, Mark, Angela, Pierre, and Beau, for dedicating your time to us and making sure we were good instructors. And that is something I really want you guys to consider. If you want to become a scuba diving instructor, really think about who you want to be working with, who you want to be taught by. Now, it's easy to kind of fall into the trap, whatever's cheapest, whatever's fastest, but as an instructor, it's going to be your job to keep people safe and to make sure you're as comfortable as you can be, and making sure your students are as safe as can be. You want to find the best instruction for you. You want to find people who are going to push you beyond the PADI standards. You're going to want to find people who take time out of their day to make sure you're as competent and comfortable and happy as you can possibly be. You want to make sure you find people who are going to push you to be the best instructor you can be, not someone who's just going to tick you off on the statistics. Oh, another instructor done. So really do your research. Go to the dive shop where you're going to be doing your instructor course. Ask to talk to some of the instructors who have graduated from there. They always say look for a PADI 5-star dive center, but I really think the key thing is find out who's going to be teaching you and kind of go by your gut. Ask them questions, talk to them. Diving instructors love talking and they love sharing the passion of diving. So yeah, just find someone who you want to be taught by, someone that you admire. Maybe it is the instructor who taught you your dive master or your advanced course, and kind of go from there. So that is kind of my overarching advice to anyone who wants to be a scuba diving instructor. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, again, like, comment, all the things. Yeah. And let me know what else you would like to learn about in the world of scuba diving. It means the world to me that you guys are here with me today. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.